We are in Israel. Here they came up with a robot for harvesting tomatoes. As some observers write, the coronavirus pandemic has shown that dependence on labor must be reduced. One of the local companies is doing this. If such robots are replaced, then the number of man-hours for harvesting is reduced by 80%. We have heard many times about farmers leaving their crops to rot because there is no one to harvest them, the companies emphasize. Mechanical workers are able to determine the degree of maturity of tomatoes, as well as carefully cut them, simultaneously giving out data on the yield and condition of plants. The speed of work is impressive. 5 robots will harvest from 50,000 square meters in about a week. Another answer to the labor shortage is a German strawberry picking robot. He drives around the greenhouse on his own, choosing, collecting, weighing, packing and scanning berries, and at a time he can carry up to 4 boxes, that is, about 20 kilograms. The developer company was founded quite recently, in the 2020 year, but has already managed to receive funding from one of the German ministries and win the Green Tech Award and the BACE Award. The technology continues to be produced, similar to something cosmic, but its application is quite earthly. It is a universal electric platform for attachments, capable of carrying up to 2 tons of payload. The Norwegian manufacturing company notes that the use of the platform is limited only by the imagination of the buyer, and also reports on the success while orders are accepted in a limited mode, but there are already customers. No wonder, because they are offered several layout options. For example, you can put an additional 60 horsepower diesel engine and get a hybrid transmission. All wheels rotate by 360 degrees, the standard 3-point hitch allows you to put mowers, plant systems, cultivators and other equipment, reducing the amount of downtime in the equipment. And navigation is based on RTK GPS technology. This is accuracy in the area of several centimeters in real time. Speaking of navigation, both wheeled vehicles and drones will not be hindered by such an assistant. On the screens is a mobile station that provides centimeter positioning accuracy and supports not only GPS, but also GLONASS, Galileo, and BeiDou. It is possible to work with the 4G networks, OQ-SINs, Wi-Fi and LAN. That is, Chinese, American, European and even Japanese farmers can easily buy such stations. The operating time from one charge is up to 50 hours, the signal transmission distance reaches up to 2 kilometers, besides, the stations are ready to work from -20 to +55 degrees Celsius, and the case is made of carbon fiber. It is equally important to protect the crop. For example, birds in granaries not only eat grain, but also dirty it with droppings. And since birds have the best developed eyesight from the senses, then they are offered to drive them with a laser. According to the developers of this system, the laser triggers the natural avian instinct of flight, but at the same time it is safe for them and for people. The range of operation is about 2.5 kilometers. The system reduces the number of birds by 70% and will help not only with pigeons, but also with sparrows, crows, ducks and even seagulls. There are automatic and manual models, and for the convenience of configuration, we made an application for Android and iOS. A more advanced alternative is such a drone. He will scare away the birds from the vineyards, and wild deer and elk from the farm. Another scenario is working along railway tracks to prevent animals from getting run over by trains. The drone is configured for the customer right on the spot, works autonomously and flaunts options, and one customer from Sweden has already estimated the result: there are 70% fewer wild animals. A patent for a self-rotating sprinkler irrigation apparatus that rolled in a circle and watered the fields was issued back in 1952. However, then they laughed at the inventor. Supposedly the edges of the fields remain dry. Time has put everything in its place, and this modern version of the circular irrigation system from the USA is willing to buy even at the installation price of $1,000 per hectare. The length is up to 65 meters, the diameter is about 25 centimeters, and the design reduces component fatigue and maintenance costs. However, such watering opportunities are not available everywhere. According to the UN, by the 2050th year, water scarcity will affect more than 5 billion people. It's great that there are such systems that collect moisture from the fog. For example, residents of several settlements in Morocco receive up to 126 liters of water per day thanks to one such module, while the volume reached up to 600 liters, depending on the region and season. The principle of operation is simple. A steel mesh is placed perpendicular to the wind, on which water vapor settles and condenses. It remains only to collect water and put it into action. It's drinkable, so it's always useful. In France alone, last year about 5,000 hectares of vineyards and tens of thousands of hectares of cultivated fields were affected by the fence. Hailstones the size of a ping-pong ball are no joke, so farmers are offered such systems to protect their crops. In fact, these are support pillars, between which a protective mesh automatically walks along the guides. The standard option is cells 3 by 9 millimeters, a height of up to 5 meters and a distance between rows of up to 11 meters. However, you can assemble the system to order, but you will have to spend a lot. The price tag starts from $36,000 per hectare. The automatic system for growing various greens such as lettuce, sorrel and basil continues to be produced. Everything happens in several stages. First, the plants live in pots, and then they go to the floats of a huge pool. The final result is the finished greens, which can only be packed. Moreover, you can sell both with pruning and in special containers to increase the shelf life. An advanced agricultural robot for smart farming, reports a team from the Netherlands. The novelty looks peculiar, but you can't deny its effectiveness. Weeds are destroyed at a speed of up to 3.5 kilometers per hour. The wire is friendly with hose, knives, sheep and even carbon dioxide lasers, so it is ready for other tasks, and each manipulator is configured individually. The accuracy of the work is 2 mm, GPS antennas, RTIK GPS technology, LiDAR and several cameras help the robot not to get lost. Also, a smart hard worker can recognize plants and maneuver so as not to damage the right ones. On profile sites they write that the novelty was tested on weeding carrots and beans, and at the same time they merged the price tag, $220,000. Simple logic from the developers of such a scanner: the world's population is growing, so you need to double food production to keep up with demand. It's a small matter, we buy a scanner and manage resources like never before. After all, it allows you to quickly and easily find out how many and what nutrients are in the soil, feed and even leaves. The data can be output to a smartphone with Android and iOS, plus the scanner will get into the database of Trishin Tranu and give recommendations on soil preparation. The battery will be enough to scan 15 to 20 samples, and the compact size of the weight in the region of 1.5 kilograms will simplify carrying and transportation between sites. The price of the issue is $7,000. Agriculture still generates a colossal amount of waste. According to some estimates, about 1,300,000,000 tons annually. It's time to stir them up, so a technique that is called a stirrer comes into the issue. This German will be useful for working with something like manure, silt or leaves, as well as at landfills, so it will obviously not be idle. The productivity of the equipment is up to 700 cubic meters per hour, the height and direction of rotation of the rotor is adjustable. Besides, this option is self-propelled, that is, it does not require a tractor, and is also compact enough. The width is 3 meters. And this is a disc harrow. Sometimes she continues the business started by the agitator. One of the scenarios of mixing distributed manure with the ground, with which our previous hero worked. The RAM from the screens is available in versions from 2.7 to 8 meters and discs of 510 and 560 millimeters, and you can work at speeds up to 15 kilometers per hour and at a depth of up to 15 centimeters. A film coating machine has arrived to help farmers and resist weeds. They are also used to accelerate the heating of the soil and preserve heat, and in its simplest form is a black plastic film with holes for water, air and fertilizers. The hole in the film is often cut with a special perforator, but for a neat and quick installation, just the technique from the screens is useful.